against Sweet Baby Inc. isn't over. So if you do not know who Sweet Baby Inc. is, if you've been living under a rock, they're this company that is hell bent on ruining the gaming industry. Okay, so Sweet Baby industry Kim Beware reflects on the company backlash, says anti-DAI critics are coming together under the far-right supremacy. Oh yes, if you don't like Sweet Baby Inc. or any game they have ever created, if you leave them a bad review, if you leave their games a bad review, well, guess what? You are a racist, you are a Nazi. Yes, that is the Sweet Baby Inc. playbook. Also, they are also hiding the client list because they don't want people to know that Sweet Baby Inc. is creating games anymore. If a company is so beloved and so beloved and loved according to the media, according to the gaming experts, why does every single game by Sweet Baby Inc. flop or get negative reviews? Of course, they can of course talk it up to the old excuses of review bombing, but if Sweet Baby Inc. is incapable of making good games, their only defense is, oh, it's just toxic fans and racist Nazis giving them bad scores, review bombing. Okay, but the whole review bombing narrative is falling apart. Okay, people should be allowed to voice their disagreement with a game company or voice a disagreement on a game or a movie or a form of media. Okay, that's why Rotten Tomatoes keeps trying to take away the audience score from people, because the audience score was our way to protest the critics. If we didn't like a movie the critics liked, like The Acolyte, we were allowed to dislike The Acolyte. We didn't have to like it, but the first they tried the whole review bombing thing. That didn't work. Okay, that didn't work. So guess what they're gonna do? Guess what they're gonna do? They will delete you know our way of protesting as well. They will delete. For example, of the Little Mermaid remake, a lot of people didn't like that movie, but IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and all of the establishment sites decided to say, you know what? If you don't like the Little Mermaid remake, your review won't count. Okay? Yes. So, in the opinion of Sweet Baby and Kimby Crowd, there's an ongoing discourse surrounding it's the campaign of harassment. Oh, yes, not liking Sweet Baby Inc. is harassment. Oh, yes, it's kind of like with the whole Brie Larson hysteria of 2019. If you don't like Brie Larson, or you make fun of Brie Larson, it is considered the same as harassing her in person. Oh, yes, this whole thing, okay? And no one talks about Brie Larson anymore because no one cares about her, okay? And guess what? These people magically disappeared, okay? Burrell offered to take a situation while hosting the keynote panel of the 2024 edition of the XOXO Festival. Per its official website, an experimental festival celebrating the independent artists and creators working on the internet. While various speakers specifically discussed those of emotional experience. However, Sweet Baby Inc. decided to talk about anxiety, depression, and mental health. Must listen to Billie Eilish then, because a lot of those types of people, instead of getting actual therapy, will go listen to Billie Eilish, which wouldn't be too surprising. Imposter syndrome, never heard that before. Burnout, which is a YouTube term. And of course, the big boogeymans, racism, sexism, and online harassment. Oh yes, not liking Sweet Baby Inc. is harassment. Not liking the games, not boycotting the game, leaving the game a negative review, that's considered harassment, according to them. Oh yes, not liking Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which even critics didn't like that game, which is pretty funny, but even critics didn't like that game. Or Dustborn, no one played that game, no one bought it. Or Concord, no one bought Concord, no one played it. Oh yes, us not buying those games. It's harassment to Sweet Baby Inc. We're harassing them by not buying them. Well, I didn't buy Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I don't know anyone who did. Okay? I don't know anyone who played Concord. Okay? No one talked about Concord besides people talking about the game negatively and how ugly the characters are. Or how unoriginal the characters are too. Because a lot of the characters are pretty unoriginal in that game. Okay? But don't worry. They're gonna cling on to online harassment because people don't like the games. Oh yes, if we don't like, for example, let's say Nintendo releases a game that no one likes. Okay, let's say Nintendo releases a new Mario game, and the game is very divisive. Okay, because it's supposed to be a sequel to Mario Wonder, but they strip all of the creativity from the game and just make it like New Super Mario Bros. 5. Okay, according to Sweet Baby Inc.'s logic, people who do not like the game, it's harassing them. Yes, this is ridiculous. Okay, yeah. If we don't like Sweet Baby Inc., if we don't like the company, if we don't like the games, it's not harassment. It's people having opinions. Yes, people having opinions. Okay, but I'm crazy be the DIA of obsessed censorship mafia who's locifying all the games they've ever played as well. But don't worry, if you don't like Sweet Baby Inc., you're harassing the company. Yes, with the You're Wrong Hate campaign that's been raising us against them as a team. Who else is a hated developer? Okay, EA. Okay, hating EA and hating the games, well, by that logic, hating EA as a company, okay, is harassment. Because you're harassing $1 billion company. Because Sweet Baby Inc. is a million, I don't know if Sweet Baby Inc. is a $1 billion company, but it's $1 million company. And they're coming to us, telling us we're harassing them. Oh yes, we're harassing $1 million company whose sole goal is to burn the gaming industry to the ground. Okay, yes, harassing $1 million company. Okay, and then of course it talks about all of this stuff about protests, political bullcrap that almost no one cares about. Okay, it's just so funny that these people really think that disliking their games is harassment. Okay, it's harassment. Yes, this is just ridiculous. Okay. And even more stuff here of 5 teams of 16 talented people. Oh yes, talented people. If they so talented, they're so talented they can't write a good story. Okay, CEOs are very specific in craft skills. Blah 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 blah. Want to become craft people at one Paul Kelly presented beyond her acting career. And really respected script doctor in Hollywood. And I find that it was so fascinating and striking. A difference between you and Carrie Fisher, Sweet Baby Inc., and all the employees is that Carrie Fisher wasn't a woke person. Okay? Because woke doesn't exist in the 80s and 90s. Okay? That's a difference. Okay? I wasn't born in the 80s and 90s, but there wasn't no wokeness in the 80s and 90s. We wanted to be game players, blah, 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 blah. We worked on 70 games under our belts. Spider-Man 2, again, the game aids very poorly. And again, no one really cares or talks about Spider-Man 2. Alan Wake 2, again, a lot of people didn't like that game either, as well. But again, a lot of people didn't like the game for a different reason. But, Alan Wake 2 was hated because a lot of people didn't like the fact that the game was digital only. So you couldn't actually own Alan Wake 2 as well. But we only had a couple thousand of hours at this time. Mostly game devs here stand up to be proud of our work. Wow. And again, Spider-Man 2 was actually the most successful game they have ever created. But that game really didn't age too well compared to the first Spider-Man game. It's just a fact. People didn't really like that game as much as the first game. Okay? Yeah, and blah blah, about Spider-Man. But basically they're just whining about, how great they are, how, not liking a Sweet Baby Inc. game, is, giving the game a 1.5 star. And yeah, this is what they are saying. First of all, just a spoiler, what happens when you get harassed, I can't recommend it. If I had the way experience, 1.5 stars. It's not right. Oh, yes, of course. If you give a game a 1-star review, you're harassing Sweet Baby Inc. Yes. This is why no one likes Sweet Baby Inc. Okay, this is why people don't like the company. Okay, it's not because of their skin color or race or whatever. It's because Sweet Baby Inc., they really take the name literally. Okay, they're literal babies. Okay, they're literal babies. They can't handle people disliking their games. Okay, they can't handle their games getting a 1-star review, and they can use the excuse of review bombing all they want, but people don't like this company. It's just that simple. Okay, it's just that simple. People don't like this company. This is Sheep Inc. has to be the most hated game company since EA. Okay, and EA has done a lot of damage to the gaming industry. Okay, a lot of damage to the gaming industry. But I think CPB Inc.'s damage to the modern gaming industry will have long-lasting impacts for decades to come, like EA will. EA's damage to the gaming industry throughout the 2010s was. Okay, there's a reason why everybody hated EA in the 2010s. EA was considered the worst gaming company of all time, and even America's worst company for a few years in a row. Okay, CBB Inc. Again, they're a Canadian company. They're not American, so we can't really vote them as the worst company in America. But CBB Inc. is probably one of the worst game developers to come out of the past 5 years. And that's saying a lot. Goodbye.